Hello friends, welcome back. Myself Dr. Awasthi Sudarshan Subhash. In this session, we will go through the main idea or the main theme of Shakespeare's Sonnet number 29, the title of which is When in Disgrace with Fortune and Men's Eyes. Friends, as we know, many times we do get frustrated because of our failure in getting something or in achieving something. In the same way, my friends, sometimes our poet Shakespeare also finds himself in a mood of acute distress because of his failure to have achieved what other people have achieved or what they can boast of. Then, my friends, Shakespeare finds great relief in thoughts of his friend. Having such a friend, that is the Earl of Southampton, is a rich compensation to Shakespeare for all his wants. Shakespeare's friend's love is a treasure for Shakespeare, which is more valuable to him than all the wealth of kings or any other treasure. The intensity of Shakespeare's love for his friend is the most striking feature of this sonnet. He complains against his fate also. He says, "Sometimes I find myself treated very badly by fate, and I also feel that people look at me with hostile or contemptuous eyes. At such times, I begin to lament my fallen condition. At such times," Shakespeare says, he begins to complain to heaven about his misery. He further says, "When in disgrace with fortune and men's eyes, I alone beweep my outcast state, and trouble deep heaven with my bootless cries, and look upon myself and curse my fate." But he says, heaven pays no heed to his laments and protests, which therefore prove to be futile. Then the poet looks at himself and curses his sad fate. He compares himself with other persons who are much more fortunate than him. He begins to envy somebody who harbors some hope in his heart and who seems to him to be rich because of this hope. He further envies some another man who has very handsome features and face. He also envies some another person who has good friends. Sometimes the poet also envies one man's artistic talent and another man for the wide range of his activities and interests. On such occasions, he cannot derive the least satisfaction from what he has got. At such times and with such thoughts, he begins almost to hate himself. Then we do witness a sudden change in the temperament and in the mood of the poet as soon as he gets the thought of his dear friend. So in delight, the poet says, "Haply I think on thee, and then my state, like to the lark at break of day, arising from sullen earth, sings hymns at heaven's gate. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings, that then I scorn to change my state with kings. Then it so happens that his thoughts go to his friends. And when that happens, my friends, the poet experiences the same feeling of delight which a lark feels when at dawn it soars upwards from the unhappy earth and sings in praise of God at the gate of heaven. Shakespeare, in the same way, experiences a feeling of delight because he thinks of his friend's sweet love for him. The mere remembrance of his love for his friend makes the poet feel so much significant that he dislikes to exchange his state with that of kings also. Friends, as we know, this is one of Shakespeare's most famous sonnets, and it certainly deserves a high rank. As we know, the theme of this sonnet is Shakespeare's celebration of his friendship with the Earl of Southampton. But it may also serve as a celebration of true friendship in general. Each one of us has his moments of depression caused by the feeling of frustration in life. Friends, each one of us, comparing himself with others, finds that he has not been able to achieve what others have achieved. At such times, one can certainly derive a lot of pleasure from the fact that he has got a true friend. Friendship is indeed something very precious, but it is a treasure which only a few can claim to have acquired. My friends, the language used in this sonnet is a very striking example of Shakespeare's capacity to choose the most appropriate words and to put them into excellent combinations. This kind of manipulation of the language and this kind of skill in combining words into phrases and clauses constitute what is known as the felicity of style. The development of the idea in the sonnet of Shakespeare is most logical, and the conclusion reached at the end comes as an appropriate climax. In the first half of the sonnet, the poet speaks of his sense of disappointment in life, while in the second half of the sonnet he speaks of the rich compensation that he has got. It is indeed an exquisite sonnet both by virtue of its theme and its style. My friends, these words all about the sonnet number 29 of William Shakespeare.